Bornoff, and today I'll be showing you how to do basic geometry in Blender. And I have not quite scheduled this out to get all the ins and outs, so I'm going to go fairly quickly through the interface. I'll show you how to get started and do a basic rough start of that. So yeah, this is basically a rough start. It's going to be kind of slow at times, but work with me on that. So here we go. So you're going to start with your let me turn screencast keys on. This is Blender. Let's see, 2.71, and I'm going to turn screencast keys on so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's see. There it is. So here's that, and here's the text. Okay. All right, cool. So that's what I'm doing right there. So if you wanted to do something like middle mouse button move, I'm gonna make that a little bigger so you can see that. So I'm gonna make the mouse a little bit bigger. Okay. So now you can see that I'm pressing down the middle mouse and it's rotating. Hold shift middle mouse to pan, and control goes left and right, shift up and down. All right, so that's how you view 7, or let's see, numpad 7. I've got a laptop, so emulate 3-button mouse, emulate numpad. I have those on so that when you press 7, it'll go to top view, and it'll just emulate the mouse, or the numpad. So 1, 3, 7 are the views. Here are your layers down here. So if you press M, it moves it to a different layer. If you hold on Shift, it sets it to multiple layers. So that's whatever selected. You right click to select objects. So you can press 5 to switch from orthographic to perspective and back again. So you probably want orthographic for here because we're going to do floor plans. And I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to look for a floor plan on Google. Floor plan blueprints. Alright, so first one I see is this one. Let's try black and white one. This one. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to scan the image. Hopefully this one's large enough resolution. It's a little small. Generally, the higher the resolution, the better. So we're going to search for large sizes. Okay, so this one looks doable. Okay. So I'm going to get this. It's plenty large. I'm going to go ahead and vectorize it, and then I'm going to import it into Blender, and then clean it up from there. So, or I might clean it up before I entered it. So here's the floor plans. Okay, so I'm going to close that. So I'm going to go to Inkscape and vectorize it. You can also use Adobe Illustrator or any other vector package. You can also use Blender, Shift A, curve, Bezier curve, and then just trace along the line. Tab to edit, and then you can just trace along lines. That's kind of a crude way to do it. Maybe a curve path would be a little bit more direct. Yeah, and vector. We could do just different ones. So yeah, Bezier curve and then vector. That straightens it out. So you can also turn on snapping here, pressing a little magnet key, and it will snap to the grid just automatically. And you can also have it snap to different things, so that's useful. But we're going to get to that tool later. This is Inkscape right here. I'm going to drag the picture over from my desktop. Here's a floor plan. Drag it over into Inkscape, and then embed. All right, so now I'm going to vectorize this. So path, trace bitmap, update. Let's see, edge detection. Looks all right. Let's see if I can get it better. Update. 2 colors. Okay, so let's try that. Let's see. All right, so it's looking like this graze is working okay. So I'm gonna try that, see if that works. Looks like it's thinking, and okay, we got something. So I want to check it over for consistency. Just check the little that it traced okay. It seemed to work okay. Let's see. Oh wait, is this the vector? Yeah, that's the vector. Okay, so as you can see, it's a little bit blurry. Okay, good enough for government work. Let's go ahead and export this and see what we get. Okay, so I have not tried this in advance, so I don't know if it'll work, but we can certainly try. So I'm going to go here to the vectorized portion, and we basically just need all of the basic lines right there. So I'm going to go to File, Export bit or Export, or is it Save As? There it is. Inkscape SVG, floor plan, save to the desktop, and I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm going to try to drag and drop it into Blender. Let's see if I can do this. Haven't tried this before. And okay, that didn't work. So you go to import and then SVG. I think there's a DWG importer as well. Let's see. Preferences. Let me go ahead and import this first. So here's that. Importing, and it's thinking. And there it is. So it's really, really tiny, which is fine. You can always scale it up. So there's that. And oh, snapping's on. So I'm going to turn snapping off so that it makes it a little bit easier to work with. And there that is. Scale it up by like 20. And then let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on layers, or sorry, not layers. Going to put on settings, make it metric. So so everything is in meters, or sorry, yeah, metric. Let me switch to imperial actually, just because. So here's a location. The dimensions are bounding box dimensions. So if you draw a bounding box around it, that's what you have. So 3D cursor display. Yeah, so I guess I'll get into those a little later. All right. So let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude out the edges on here and make a floor plan. So let me go ahead and clean this up just a little bit. I probably should have cleaned it up before I imported, but oh well. So I'm going to press C and then just kind of delete all these things here. Delete. And delete that. Yeah, it doesn't do much good for text. Have not gotten a successful text export. So if you know how to do text Inkscape conversions or vectorize text, let me know, because that's interesting. So let's see. So it looks like the doors are kind of shifty too. Well, you know what? I'll just extrude and then clean it up later. So here's a bevel depth, here's the extrude. Okay, obviously that's a little bit much. Let's see, let's try holding that shift. Okay, so now you can see that there's indeed a setup for extrusion. And then you can go and clean up some more if you want. Let's see. Oop. So there's so the idea is to start with a good form. Before I clean up, I'm going to go ahead and convert this to a mesh. So Alt C, convert to mesh. It was currently a curve, so now it's a mesh, which means that it's all vertices now. And Blender is kind of slowing down because it's got a lot of vertices, and I have a small laptop. So I'm going to go ahead and mask what I don't need. So I'm going to, I think it's Control B. Let's see. Maybe not. Shift B. I think that's a zoom. Yeah, it's a zoom. Okay. Let's see. Mask. Hide. Selection. Okay. All right. So I'm going to select what I want to hide, what I want to see. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and delete these things first. So delete that. And I probably could have done this a lot easier in Inkscape, just come to think of it. So cleaning up in Inkscape is a little bit easier, but live and learn. So there's that, and I'm going to delete that. All right. Oop. So it looks like there's apparently something underneath this. So let's see. Apparently there are a lot of things underneath this. So let me see. Try this. I'm going to press Z, and then delete all these. Okay. All right. So you kind of get the idea. I'm not really an expert at architecture, but this is how you would, if you have a clean drawing, you would import the drawing, extrude up, and then delete what you don't like that door there. That door could probably be removed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to remove this, see how well I do. Yeah, that wasn't such a good move. Okay, so I apparently need some more work on that. That's how you do a drawing import. Kind of leaves you with an interesting result. So yeah, I would definitely clean it up before import. But if you already have something, oh, like that, you can go in and extrude up. Extrude up, and whoa, that's kind of weird. Okay, maybe not that extrusion. Maybe that extrusion? Yeah, there we go. Okay, extrude up. Okay, so apparently it captured this on another layer, and that looks a lot nicer. So I mean, yeah, you do have to do a little bit of cleanup. There are some things that aren't, well, maybe that angle's right. Let me check. Checking the blueprint. Yeah, that angle looks right. Okay, so maybe that was just a interesting way of, yeah, that's just an interesting way of putting a door in sideways. So apparently that can be done. If you're trying to measure things, you go into grease pencil, ruler, protractor, and then you can just go ahead and take a slide over here and say, oh, that's 3.43 feet across, approximately. And then you can do this. Now, this isn't to scale, of course. If you want to do it to scale, you would go over here and set your grid lines and that kind of stuff over here. So you can set your grid to whatever. Let's see. So the grid is currently at approximately 1 meter, or 1 foot, sorry. This is feet. So you could go in here and set this accordingly if you wanted it different, like 2 feet, 3 feet, and then you could have a snap to grid and snap from there. Okay, so there's that. Escape to exit out of that. For a protractor, you hold control down and then hold another control down. Maybe that's not control. Maybe it's oh goodness. Okay, so bear with me on this. I'm going to calculate an angle, so I hold control down, then wheel. Okay, so I know that there is a I know that there is a way to calculate angles. Okay, what is that way? Just give me a second. Let me figure it out. If I can't figure it out in like a little bit, I will go ahead and pause the video. Alright, so I want to figure out the angle here. Let's see, middle mouse, nope, shift. Ah, here we go, holding down shift, that does it. Alright, so if I want to figure out this angle, I'd draw the edge, holding down, or turning on the ruler protractor, and then I'd be like, I want to calculate this to this angle. So I hold down shift and then drag this on. It looks like I almost did it. Maybe I have to drag from this end. Nope. Maybe I have to draw another one. So I'm gonna try drawing another one. And well, it did it for me earlier. Let's see. Come on. So it's not Alt, it should be Shift. So as you can see, you can definitely measure rulers, like you can measure different things, and they're pretty accurate. You can be like down to a 6, what is that, 100,000th? Maybe? That's a 10th, 100,000th, 10,000th, 100,000th. Yeah, something like that. So I am going to just take a guess on this and say that, okay. So now I got this. Apparently you have to hold down shift and then click in the middle of the drawing. Yeah, so I'm getting more familiar with this. That's the good news. Bad news is I probably should have done this before the video. So there's your angles. You can measure. So if I wanted to get that one, say like, is that a true 90-degree angle? Could be like, oh, and then go over here and just kind of keeping on with this and say, that looks like a 50-degree angle. Yeah, that curve there, it's a wee bit funky. That can of course be cleaned up later. So let's see. It says it's 50 degrees right there. Huh. Well, I guess that's a 50-degree angle. Let's see if I can measure something else. So this one, is this one a 90-degree angle? Yeah. So you can get kind of the gist of. Okay, that's a little weird. Maybe you have to be in a different mode. Saying that's 90 degrees. Maybe it's in radians? Oh, let me check. because this looks off. So if I'm not mistaken, degrees? No, that's degrees. Okay. Well, let's see. Top view. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to measure this. Let me just drag this to here, drag this to here. These are all 90. Okay, that's better. So apparently you have to be in top view, otherwise it's going to just kind of squawk at you. Because okay, so what I think I was doing is I was in a different view, like 45-degree view over here, and I was moving this one up a little bit, and it's like, where are you trying to point? So anyway, make sure you're in top view for this to work accurately. Yeah. Or maybe it was however many degrees I had. All right, so that's ruler and protractor. You're learning this with me, so yay, we just learned something together. Okay, it took a little bit longer than I usually like to take, but hey, we made something. And then you can scale that down, add a plane, and then maybe put a little roof on top. I'm gonna make a lame roof. Let's see. So here's my lame roof. Maybe we can make this the rafters, and then yeah, you can get more detailed with this. Like you can add like beams and stuff. So and add a array modifier. Yeah, come on. Still have protractors on. Okay, press escape to get out of the protractor mode. So get an array, go over here. Okay, so this is an array modifier. You can set where you want your thing used to be, and then just extrude over here. And this is all dynamic, so you can turn it off and on. Be like, I don't want it, or yes, I do. And then you can also change what that looks like later. Be like, I want a little bit extruded. Okay, so we'll say that I made a lot of beams. So then I'm going to go ahead and say, well, maybe I want to make a beam on top. So I'm going to just duplicate that. Actually, better idea. Duplicate this whole thing and then move this down. And then move it up. All right, and then, okay, I'm just going to pretend that that is flush. I'm not going to do any major tweaking. You can if you like. And Alt-Shift-X. What was that? I guess I didn't do it right. Okay, so I'm going to add a mirror modifier. Mirror. Oop, that wasn't it. What is short for mirror? Mirror is... it doesn't have a shortcut. Go figure. Okay, so just adding an X mirror modifier. So if I change this, it changes that. And okay, so now they're connected. And then let's add some tiling, of course. So I'm going to just go ahead and duplicate this array, move it over one, and then I'm going to make another array of small tiles. So here come the small tiles. Okay, you watching? So here they go. I could make another array. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So go ahead and delete all of these. So I'm now left with just this cube. Then I can go ahead and delete these. Then I'm just left with this plane. Okay. Whoa. That worked not as well as I hoped. I'm gonna try this one more time. You know what? I'll just start with the flat plane. Start over. All right. I don't know if I can get that angle right, but I can try. measurements are important, but I'm just eyeballing it. Again, if you want more accuracy, you can of course be rotate X and then figure out how it's rotated here. So if you wanted it like 22 degrees, 23 degrees, and so on and so on. This doesn't have rotations on because it's an array, but yeah. Huh. I think I hear a warning signal over there. I must be having bad weather. So here's an array, and I'm going to create another one just to offset a bit, and then here's another shingle. Just kind of pretend that that is shingled okay. And then I want this shingle to be duplicated this way. So I'm going to set the relative offset on the y-axis, then make that -1, so it's going this way. And then I'm going to duplicate this all across there. Oh, maybe a little bit much. Whoop. Okay, that's better. So just kind of bear with me. Assume that this tiling is a little bit better than it is. Just pretend that that works. So I want this to be -1 on the x-axis, and there we go. Okay, so the tile slid right off. Okay, so there's that, and then we have tiling now. Okay, for shingles, and those slats look very much off. So I'm just going to assume that this is, let's just pretend that this works. Yeah, just kind of tile it. Yeah, you can mess with this later if you want to get nitpicky about it. You'd be like, oh man, I could create a better tile. So maybe you can. I'm kind of moving a little fast, building kind of a how should I put it? I don't want to say shoddy house, but maybe a shotgun house, maybe. I don't know. So let's see. So we add a mirror modifier and then rotate that on the, I want it to duplicate on this axis. So if you want it to rotate, it looks like it's duplicating okay. If you want it to rotate, you select your thing you want it to rotate around. That's going to be your mirror object. So this is plane 2 for the mirror. I'll just name it mirror object. So it's going to rotate around this one. Actually, Shift S, cursor selected. I'm going to create an empty just so I can move it around and not worry about all this kind of stuff. So this is going to be the rotation object. So I'm going to go here and rotate around the empty. All right, there we go. Now if I move the empty around, it rotates around. So if I go whoop, yep. So that's good. All right, now I built pretty much a standard template, and I'm pretty sure there's also a structure going up here to hold the beams in place. So let me go ahead and put that in, kind of shoddily. So again, you can do measurements over here. I would assume that that is what would be done, because this is eyeballing it, and you get an okay result eyeballing it, but I'm sure you get a much more accurate result if you actually did measurements. So let's see, there's that, and then I'll just duplicate and scale, and then duplicate and scale. Okay, so I built a house, if you will, with a really shoddy roof, but